Another weekend, another job. On cold start, every now and then I'd get a noisy tappet. So, or I think they're called hydraulic compensating elements. They look like this. This is an old one. Now I've replaced all 8 because there wasn't any that seemed to be obviously loose when you pull that up and down. I'm going to call it a tappet, but it's a hydraulic compensating element. If it's knackered, the arm will move up and down. Now, I've had this once before when I did my head gasket. So because I think it was one of these rear ones, but I've loosened the cap off now, but I think it's one of these ones had a slight bit of place. I start the engine up, it would go tick 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 tick, and as the oil pressure rose, the noise would go. Now another thing that would happen was in hot idling in traffic, I could pull away, the oil pressure goes lower when the engine's really hot, which is quite normal, and I'd put my foot down and I'd get a. So I thought, well, the last thing I want to do is have to replace my camshaft. So I thought, well, do it. It's not too bad a job. That's my neighbour up the road repairing his car. So to do it, I took the alternator off, which is there. There's plenty of slack in the cables. To get to the cam chain tensioner, which is here. Oh, crikey! Down there, look, can you see it? Now there's a resetting procedure for that. Basically, you have to pull it all the way out and then put it all the way back in so it can reset itself. It's got like a ratchet system. Got to take the fan off. Got to slacken off the auxiliary belt, and then yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, there's an oil spray bar that goes across the top. You need to check the holes in that are clear. These things, yeah, got to make sure you don't drop them, because they can possibly fall down one of these oil drains in the cylinder head, and that would be an absolute nightmare, because that'd be floating around inside your engine. Probably wouldn't be the end of the world, but also you'd have to go and find one of them, and they're probably not easy to find or cheap. So yeah, loosen the auxiliary belt, remove the alternator, slacken the cam chain tension. I just did that because I was interested about any slack on my chain, but there isn't any, so I'm quite happy about that. And then what I've been doing is I've been having to remove very gently. I've been having to drift out the old hydraulic elements, because they're such tight tolerances that it's quite difficult to get them out of the hole. But to put them back in, relatively simple. As soon as they go in square, says that. As soon as they go in square, they just drop in. Give us a second. Right, bear with me because we've got no fancy editing suite here. So, with one hand, what I've had to do is knock the this little plate here into the rocker arm with a very small hammer, very gently. Let's see if we can do something here with a little makeshift studio. There you go. Oh, there you go. So ever so gently. There you go. I mean, I'm using such a small amount of pressure, and then in goes the new element once it's clean. Crikey. And then it should just drop straight in. There you go. And I got another one here. Oh dear, you didn't get to see that, did you? And then you got another one here, and it just drops straight in. There you go. That's when you know you got it right. And then obviously what I do is clean this area here. And then what I'm doing, because I am a little bit paranoid about camshaft wear, because what I don't want to do is wear out my camshaft, because bits are getting hard to find now, is I'll put a little bit of assembly lube on the camshaft there, and then what I'll do is I'll put a tiny smear on here as well. And then obviously what I do is I make sure that all the surfaces are completely clear of any kind of contamination, you know, like oil, but also things like dirt. Yeah, so we've still got an absence of a editing suite, because I only messing around doing this for a bit of fun. So what we do now is we put the bearing cap back on. I don't think you can get it the wrong way round. And what I'm doing is I'm making sure that the hydraulic compensating elements match up with the little shims that I showed you, that you don't want to fall inside the head. And then I am going to have to tighten it down. So I actually tried to put it on the wrong way round. Now what you can do is you can see that there's a bearing surface here, and inside the cap is one there. So I tried to get it round the wrong way round, this way, which would have been a bit of a disaster for my camshaft. So luckily I've done a little bit of checking out there, which is quite handy. Now the cap just goes back on, and then you have to tighten it up against the tension on the valve spring, because obviously all of them are in a different state of being closed or open. Get the bolt started, tighten her down, and then just rinse and repeat, as they say. Good luck.